Hello and welcome to the Manufacturershub podcast. For the regular listeners, welcome back. If you're new here, thanks for tuning in to the podcast where we shine a spotlight on the people and the businesses driving UK manufacturing forward. Hello and welcome to the Manufacturershub podcast. For those regular listeners, welcome back. And for those new listeners, thanks for spending our time watching this. Today we're joined with Billy Hopkins from Spanflug UK. He's the UK regional manager at Spanflug, a leading European technology company transforming CNC quoting. So Billy works closely with machine shops across the UK to speed up quoting. So hello, Billy.
Hello, Richard. Thanks for having me.
So today we're going to talk about the bottlenecks in CNC machining. Obviously, some of this is going to be quoting, mainly quoting from your end. Obviously, that's what your software does. Obviously, some quotes can take hours sometimes, depending on components. So it could take a lot of time, isn't it? And obviously, this is time that businesses want to be saving as much as that, make it as quick as possible, especially if they're a small business and they're like a one-man band and they've got to be running their machines and not spending all their time quoting as well. So who are Spanflug, Billy?
So, Spanflug is a software development company, and Spanflug has themselves created a platform for the calculation of costs and times for CNC milled and turned parts.
Okay, so they're quite big. So obviously they're European based. They're quite big in Europe, are they?
Yeah, we're a German company, so it's very big over Europe. And so the last year they've heavily expanded. They've brought on a few different regional managers across Europe and further afield, obviously UK. And they're pushing and looking to keep growing.
So have you got quite a few customers already in the UK that are already using the software?
Yeah, got a few customers. Yeah,
all over the UK, are they?
Yeah, scattered. That's the thing with machine shops. They're scattered everywhere. There's no central hub.
there's thousands of precision engineering companies in the UK. There's quite a lot. So you come from this kind of background yourself?
Yeah. I come from the back from myself. So I started off as a machinist. I've worked myself up through process engineer, production manager, engineering subcontract sales manager. So I've been on the tools. I've been in the office. I've been quoting. So I know the pains through the industry.
What made it so good to kind of join Spanflug then? What was the change to join there?
Well, when it sort of come around, it was quite a big shock. And when I saw the solution, it was very eye-opening for me. So there was many times in the past where I've been doing quoting, you've had a massive quote of 40, 50 lines land on your desk, and you're trying to get through it as quick as you can, but stay accurate and consistent. But it's very hard to doing it manually. So when the solution was brought to me, and I had the opportunity to stand behind it, I thought, great, I need to hit this and push it out.
Nice. So I've had some conversations with different kind of manufacturers on the hub as well, and especially like the one-man bands, they find it obviously hard to balance everything, juggle everything whilst trying to run their machines and do the quoting and do everything else they've got to do, run the business at the same time, whether it's going to do a delivery as well. So we certainly believe in it if it's obviously going to support and make quoting more efficient and save time for businesses.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So why do you think it's such a challenge? Obviously, we've touched on this already. Such a challenge for businesses, and why is it so crucial to be able to do this software to quote?
Yeah, it's sort of like what you said. If whether you're a one-man band, you're a bigger company, you have more employees. There's always an element of time. It takes time. It's very manual. The risk to reward is obviously there. The risk is high and low, and depending on the job you're doing, it's unfortunately that's the industry we're in. So if everyone can use a solution or use a software to take an average or balance out the outcome, everyone's going to do it. So having that behind you is having the backing that you've got something there to sort of back you up, your instinct, and allow you to be more consistent.
So I remember saying before, obviously, was talking about it, and you obviously you can save everything on there as well, can't you? You can save everything on there. So I don't know what processes necessarily these businesses go through. They've got some way, whether it's in a memory of, right, this is how much it's going to cost me per hour, or right, I've got this machine, and they've got some kind of process already to do this quoting. Whereas obviously to make it easier, everything's on the app. You can put your machines in there, you can put your overheads in there, your wages, and you can customize it, can't you?
Yeah. So the solution is fully customizable. I believe Spanflug and the team knows it has to be. Not every machine shop is the same. Everyone is different. I'm different to you, you're different to the person next to you, and that's the same in machining, in programming, in machine shops, machine to machine. So everything is pretty much customizable. You can put your own machine tools in, you can change the calculation settings to define how your machine output and how your company output work.
Yeah. So it's because like a machine shop, just say down in the London area, might be paying a lot more for their rent, just say, than somewhere up north,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
they might have 50 staff against one staff, or so with material costs fluctuating as well, it's going to constantly change, isn't it?
That's it, yeah, yeah. And so that's why we believe it has to be customizable and the options are in there for you to customize it. It's not like you have to keep coming back to us and we tweak it. It's fully your hands and your progression for you to customize.
Do you know kind of roughly how much time they could save per, just say, quote?
So we say up to 90%. As I say, it depends on the complexity of the part. If it's a fairly easy part to quote, as say we tend to turn around a quote in a couple of minutes. A very experienced bloke to quote a part could be 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes. More complex could lead into the hours as well as the days, depending if you're waiting on material price and stuff like that.
So obviously we've kind of touched on it already, but I was going to say is why is it so relevant to UK businesses? So obviously we've touched on saying energy costs, and it obviously depends on say skill shortages as well, doesn't it? Where you've got everyone's kind of struggling for staff at the moment, and skilled people in this industry. What kind of how else is it relevant to UK manufacturers?
Um, in a sense, yeah, you touched broad across it really. You've got the skills shortage, you have labour costs. Everything needs to be done cheaper, more consistent, and more reliable. And this solution allows you a quoting process to be that. Without it, you can obviously have the fluctuations like we mentioned before. You could take longer time, and it's all about being competitive, but still being reliable and consistent in your output, which everyone needs and wants.
That's exactly what everyone wants to hear. Is that it's making sure that you're lean, isn't it? It's being lean. It's being making
That's it.
sure you can save as much time, as much money as possible. So you've also kind of got a partnership with Ceratizit as well, haven't you? So
Yeah,
it's
that's correct.
using their tools for your site.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. So we partnered with Ceratizit. Some Ceratizit customers may know that they've brought out a solution called Tool Select. We are necessarily the back end for it. Everything sort of you put in through Tool Select. We do the algorithm behind it, and that's where the partnership has sort of sparked and how it's sort of grown. And then the communications to and forth will obviously come in the future. The more tools we're going to bring into Spanflug make. So once you produce a quote, we'll highlight the tools that you need, links to Ceratizit, so you can purchase through them.
Okay. So do you go and visit these businesses as well? So if someone's interested, do you go and visit them and you can show them, or is it a case of you just show them a demo, or how does it work?
Yeah, so the way it works is if you spark an interest, you can sign up online, you can reach out, we can handle it whether we come to site, we can demo it on site, we can demo remote. It all depends on the customer's needs. We're there to accommodate for them.
Okay. So I know obviously in this, you mentioned about kind of showing a little bit of a demo. So yeah, we said we're more than happy. Yeah, chuck a little demo on if you want, and show people kind of how it works.
Yeah, yeah, we'll have a quick demo. It'll be very, very quick. Let me just share my screen. Go. So, as I say, this is Spanflug Make. And as we can see, we can sort of drag and drop files into here, or we can select files. Now, to remember, we do need a CAD model as a minimum, but best results are CAD with a PDF. We can't just calculate with a PDF only at the minute. We're very much hoping that we can in the future, but at the minute, CAD is a minimum, CAD and PDF for best results. So what we'll do, we'll drag and drop this part in, and this will initiate the first calculation. So that's gathering all the relevant information it needs off the 2D drawing, as well as taking into account sort of the overall sizes and dimensions it can find on the model as well.
Obviously, depending on the person's or the business's internet as well, depends obviously how quick this is going to quote. Obviously, for us, we're running this podcast website as well. So it is a little bit slower than normal, isn't it?
It is a little bit slower than normal, but generally we say it's a couple of minutes to speed through the whole thing. Obviously, that's once you've done your machine tools, you've adjusted your calculation settings and stuff like that. It's generally within a couple of minutes we say it's done a quote. So as we can see, sort of, we've got this 3D viewer. We have a 2D drawing viewer as well. If we look at the 3D viewer, we can see we've got different styles. We've got a geometry style. We have an X-ray style as well. We go back to the standard. We can chuck on the dimensions so we can see what the outside dimensions are. We can turn that off. And as we can see, the first initial calculation is done. So it's pulled up the part name, the material, the grade, and the general tolerances for it. So we'll add our quantity in and we'll hit calculate.
But does this automatically update, just say on material costs, or do you have to input that in manually?
So it automatically updates. So it goes on commodity pricing from Germany. So unfortunately, they're more in line with Germany, but it should be global with a percentage, but you can adjust that in the calculation settings. So if you said our prices in the UK are 10% more expensive, you adjust the 10%, and if it fluctuates, it will always drop in relevance to the German market.
Okay. But it's still add your, to say 10% on there as well every time, even if it fluctuates.
Yeah. As I say, we're making the operational plan now, so that's defining what process it is, milling, turning, and then applying what tools it needs and stuff like that to generate cycle times. So we can have a quick look at the 2D drawing. As we can see, it's highlighted the fits and fittings and the general tolerances and material, so it knows what it needs to take a little bit of extra care on.
Yeah. And then, so how does this work when it comes to obviously the finishes as well? So just an ended it plating or hardening, or how does this work?
So that's it. It tends to generally read the drawing, and then it will quote the cost of the surface treatment as well. So as we can see, the calculation's finished. So this part is pretty much calculated. We've got a price at the bottom, but we'll have a quick scan through. We can see the calculation settings is pulled. It's full standard. It's a turn and a milled part. We've got a bit of part information here. We've got our quantity. We've got some price breaks. We can edit if required. We've got the material procurement. We've got a delivery time. We've got a unit price and a total price. We have different stock types. We have the stock condition, and we have a strategy for that material as well. So it's all changeable.
So you can edit batches to be like obviously much larger batches as well. So you can edit that.
That's it. Yeah, we have the quantity breaks
in the past. There's been say hundreds of thousands of units on say over Christmas or something.
Yep. So we can change the quantity that's required. And say we've got the total length needed, the weight and size, stock property. So if we want to add more on, if we need more for clamping, we want a bigger diameter, we can edit that, recalculate. Then we jump to the turning. So this is the turning process of it. And we can see it's pulled the Mazak Integrax. It's pulled the hourly rate from the back end. This information is pulled from my preset machines. So this is where you'd have to define your presets. But if you sign up initially, you don't have to. We have a default setup, which you can just chuck your parts in and you'll get an outcome. So again, we have the program and setup machining. We have your totals, your unit price for that. We'll jump down to the milling. Again, it's pulled the Mazak Integrax. We can change if required. For some reason, we don't want to do the mill on there, but we'll leave it on. And again, it's pulled the hourly rates, the programming setup, machining times. We've got obviously the subtotal, then the unit price. Now, this is where we come to the tools. So again, we get a nice little 3D viewer, and we start dropping down these, and we can start see where the partnership with Ceratizit is starting to sort of come out in Spanflug Make. So we can sort of click that. We can see what tool is recommended for the job, and we can add to cart and purchase. What we also have with the 3D viewer is see the green highlighted features. So when it does use a tool, it's going to start showing you what it's doing. So you can understand how it's sort of looking at it, what it's machining and why. And then we can close that down. Now, if there was surface treatment where it's anodizing, chemi black, anything like that, it will be here, and it will basically add an operation there for the surface treatment there as well. You can add in customs, cost or process. You can add as well. And then we come down to the bottom, and this is our total price.
So what happens after you've got the final price? So were you able to go straight to like ERP export, or say obviously PDF quotes?
That's it, yeah. So you've got your final price. Depending who you are, you might have an ERP, you might not. It's dependent on the person. So you can save the quote. So let's save. You can then select a customer from your customer library, which you can store in here as well. As you can see, we've got one line item. You can customize, change everything you need. We then go to export. So now this is where you can export as quote PDF. So you can get a quote as a PDF, drop it into an email, send it back to your customer. You can also calculation CSV or a quote JSON. Now these two files will be the ones that you can use to export from Make into your MRP or ERP system. But we'll leave it as quote PDF. We'll turn off the batch prices. We'll hit export, and then
The delivery times are then all editable as well from your end.
That's it, yeah. So you can tend to customize all that information. So again, just a quick one to show you the quote that comes out. We've got that there. So you can change it all. You can add stuff in, quote number. You can verify all of this, edit all. These are all. Everything here is custom that you can put in. And
So that's
that
finished work.
is the very, very quick run through of Spanflug, mate. Without going into the details of the machine tools, the calculation settings that you can start fine tuning.
Things. So that's what I believe is where I say this can help manufacturers. Where obviously if they can be spending more of their time machining or less time putting out quotes, making them more affordable, more cost effective, and hopefully we can start kind of reshoring some of this work as well, or being able to be more competitive on prices compared to obviously people that have been buying products from overseas instead.
That's it, yeah. Quoting, it's a cost. It is a cost, and no matter how you look at it, you haven't won the job, but yeah, you've got a cost element to it, and it's reducing that, and not just reducing it. Hopefully, being more consistent with your pricing, reducing the labour, the time, whether you're one man or you're a business with 50 staff, depending how you run. There's businesses out there that will have a weekly meeting about all the quotes that come in. So they're waiting a week at least to send their quote back to the customer. Or you're a one-man band who has to stop the machine to produce your quote to get it back to your customer. So there's an element of cost and downtime or labour involved with every single quote, and it's always going to be there. But it's how much can we reduce it by using solutions and software like Spanflug make.
I like how easy it looks like it's to change. Yeah, like you said, if they're doing like a weekly meeting, and I say
Mhm.
next week they're taking on a couple of new staff, or they get a new machine delivered in a week's time, it's easy to go on there and change across and add more staff, or add a different machine, so that obviously it keeps up to date with the quotes.
Yeah, so the machine tools themselves, it's you add your machine tools in, so you get your plant list, you just add them all in. It doesn't take long, and the main benefit of doing that, you can just leave it blank if you really wanted to and not add your machine tools, but you get a sort of feasibility of machining out of it. So are you able to do it in your machine shop? If a part comes in and you don't really look at it, you chuck it into Spanflug Make, and it's 1.5 meters, but your machine is 1.2, it's going to tell you. It'll say it'll basically give you an amber warning saying double check this, and that's what it's there for as well. It's not just there to simply do every bit of quoting. It gives you a feasibility check on the parts that you're quoting as well.
That's the thing. It's because you might find that some of your cheaper machines that are, say, just the basic machines, and I don't know, they might cost you whatever, 8 grand, 100 grand, or say. But whereas your all single dancing machines at hundreds of thousands, you're going to be quoting differently on them, aren't you?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So it makes sense. I say at least they can they know obviously what machines they're putting it through their end, the same as their customer as well. When they know obviously it's been quoted at a certain rate because it has to go on that certain machine.
Yeah, and so with it, you get a parts library. There's a quote library, so you can always reference back to it as well and see how Spanflug Make suggested to do it, on what machines it is suggested as well, with what tools. It's always there. It's not going to disappear. Whereas I might have quote something manually in my head. The next week it comes in and people go, "How do you want to do that?" And I go, "Well, I can't remember." That happens, and I've been there, and it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's 20 quid that one. That's all right.
That's it. Yeah.
So you just don't know anything. I say, yeah, it's at least it's you know that it's saved as well. So you come back after a heavy weekend and you know you've got it done on the Monday.
Yeah, and everyone, like I say, everyone's different. I will quote different to someone else who quotes. If you've had a cold that day, if you woke up slightly late, your quoting could be slightly off, or you could be out. It just is what it is. Everyone has that sort of deviation in a sense.
Yeah. So obviously we're saying about it's saving money as well. Obviously, it's an app. It's got a cost to it. I know you said before you've told me there's a kind of a free version as well. So can you tell us kind of how the free bit works and obviously how it comes into kind of the price kind of comparison of how much it costs?
So yeah, Spanflug make we have what we call a freemium version, and it's the whole software. The only thing it's limited is in how many parts you can upload a month. So you can fully understand it, utilize it, put your machine tools in, adjust calculation settings. You can do everything you saw in the demo, but only for up to 5 parts per month. So that's totally free. You can sign up, your colleagues can sign up, everyone can within your business. There's no limitations to it. So then we go on to a subscription service. You can go for a monthly subscription, which is rolling months. So you sign up today, you cancel tomorrow, it won't renew. Or you can keep just letting it roll on as you see fit. That is €399 a month. With that, you get obviously unlimited uploads, so you get full use of the software. There's no limitations and stuff like that. You also get the onboarding, help from me, adjusting the calculation settings, anything you need, we'll support you with. From there, you can go on to Pro Annual. So it's 3,990 per year. So technically, you save 2 months by going onto an annual subscription. And again, it's fully unrestricted. There's no restrictions to how many you can upload, how many parts you can upload. The only thing, if you do need additional licenses, there is a cost. If you go for yearly, that's €798 a year. If you need additional seat, if you are on the monthly subscription, it's 79.80 per year euros.
Okay. So I know you said about having different seats or say some of your colleagues can go on it as well. So is this do you limit it kind of per business? If one person was to go on and get 5 and then another colleague can go on and get another 5 and another can go on and get another 5, how does it work?
They can do that. Yeah, they can do that. So when we say you have another license, it's generally if people need to use it at the same time. So if you've got multiple people doing quotes, calculations, stuff like that, that's when you need another license. There is a team license, so you can control, in a sense, what other people have access to and stuff like that. So you might have one super admin who can tweak all the calculation settings, tweak the machines, but then you might have some people who can just upload it and get a quote.
Yeah, well, it makes sense really, because they start fiddling with obviously the hourly rates and things
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
building.
and then you're quoting 25% of what you should be.
Yeah, so yeah, it's good. It's got those settings in there as well. At least then, yeah, you've got the main person who's in charge of everything on it, and then the rest can follow suit. So, no, it sounds really good. It sounds really good, and it's nice that you've got this free trial that anyone can use as well. So it's not a case of like, oh, we'll give you one quote. At least they can actively try and use it like 5 a month. Just say, obviously some businesses will be running a lot more parts than that, or say every business will be running a lot more parts than that. So, but it's a
Yeah,
nice little
yeah.
intro to try it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice little intro. There is companies out there who still use the 5 per month. More or less, people who've just sort of started looking to maybe expand into the solution and figure out exactly how it works and understand what it's doing and why it's doing it as well. That there's an element to use it, and I encourage people to do it.
Do you know if they're going to be changing any kind of like? I know they're working with Ceratizit at the moment, but are they going to be working with anyone else alongside them, or how's that going?
Not at the minute. I wouldn't know, couldn't tell you. At the minute, our partnership is with Ceratizit. Yeah, that's all I know at the minute, and I don't think it's going to change or we're adding anyone new in.
So to me, it's whether it's the case you've got that partnership, but you could have all the different, obviously, tool suppliers on there as well, and then at least they can select exact tools they prefer to use. Some people prefer using different tools, don't they? So, yeah, they've got their experience with certain tools and they want to keep with that. But some of the tool prices will be very similar, aren't they?
Yeah, in sense they will be similar, and the tools themselves are going to be similar in a way. As I say, more for us is to get a quote out for our customers. Yeah, we've got the partnership with Ceratizit, but yeah, for us is to get the quote out. You can go through Ceratizit, get the tool in through Spanflug Make, which is another thing we want to allow people to do. That's where our partnership is there for. So.
Do you go to any kind of shows as well? So can people go? Obviously, Mac's a big one this year. Are you going to Mac? Can they see anything now?
Yeah, so we will be at Mac. I'll be at Mac. Marcus and Ralph. So Marcus is CEO. Ralph is my boss, the sales manager. All three of us will be at Mac. We will be on the Ceratizit stand. So we're in partnership with them. So we'll have a little corner on their stand that you're more than happy to come up, chat. We can demo it in front of you. You can understand and see what it's about.
Nice. So obviously that's coming up. So April time now, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah, April. Yeah.
So is there anything you want to kind of add else to that? Obviously, you showed the demo. Is there anything you want to kind of explain to, say, precision engineering companies or machine shops in the UK?
The only thing I'd probably add is the security-wise behind it. I know that's probably going to be a big thing. People might think, do I really want to hand over or upload models and technical drawings onto our platform? It's a question that's asked every single day by every customer.
And NDAs and stuff.
That's it. How secure is it and stuff like that? So the people can ask for an NDA. We're more than happy to give an NDA, but everyone is treated the exact same. So whether you're an aerospace company, whether you're a job shop, whether you're a one-man band, you're treated the exact same as a company that has 500 employees. Our software, our solution has been designed that everyone is set up in a way they have an NDA, because there's no point having different processes for the same solution. In regards to where the data is held, it is held in Germany on the AWS server, but it's all encrypted and everything that needs to be relevant. The information isn't shared. It's not accessible by everyone in the business. So like if you uploaded something and you didn't quite understand or something wasn't right and you asked for just me to have a look at it, I couldn't. I can't. I can forward it onto the development team, and only a select few in the development team can look at it.
Okay. No, that's good. That's a good point for everyone to know that obviously at least it's safe with you guys as well. So that's the thing, you don't want to be passing all this information over and suddenly a different team or someone else can see who your manufacturer knows for and maybe try and steal your work or anything as well. No, it's great. You've got the security there as well. So I think we've obviously come through the end of, say, the questions really. Also, we tried doing this a little while ago, didn't we? But obviously connection weren't that great. But I think it's been good to actually hear more about and showing the demo itself. I've never seen the demo itself about it. I've seen the website, I've seen the stills, and it's great to know how it works and how it can benefit people. I hope that a lot more people get to see it, because I think it does obviously help businesses save time. Obviously you've got a number of customers in the UK that are already using it, which is great. So at least they're dabbling in it and seeing the benefits there. Yeah, so it's great to have you on. It's great to know more about it, and so yeah, hopefully more people can see you in, say, Mac as well, and start using it for you.
Yeah, it's good.
So yeah, great to have you on our podcast anyway, Billy. Nice to have a conversation, and we'll catch up soon. Thanks to everyone for listening in. I hope you found this interesting about Spanflug, and maybe it's worth giving it a try, giving those 5 free quotes a month a try to see what it's like. Thank you everyone for being on. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the podcast. If you enjoyed the conversation and want to hear more from UK manufacturing, be sure to watch the podcast on the Hub or subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be back soon with more stories. Until next time, keep innovating, keep investing, and keep UK manufacturing driving forward.